How do I stay in the role of a feminine woman with a younger man in his 20s? Well, firstly, I would say date an older man. Now, obviously, can work when you're already older, right? So if she's a 60-year-old woman and she's with a 52-year-old guy, per se, then that's very different than being in with a 20-year-old, because at that age, even though it's not always necessarily equated to wisdom, at least you have both lived a lot of life, maybe both been married before, had all of your children. So it's a very different dynamic than a 30-year-old woman with a guy in his mid-20s. Especially with the understanding that men today are severely suffering in their masculinity and have 50% lower levels of testosterone than the men 50 years ago at their same age. So that is a very significant difference and drop, okay? And you remember that you date, mate, and attract people at your same psychological level, at your same energetic level, okay? So if you're 30 and you're attracting a, 50-year-old guy, it's much, much easier for you to stay in that feminine role. But you're also in the same, you're on the same psychological, energetic consciousness as him. Okay, so just think about the energetic state and maturity that a 20-year-old guy is on, because we age much faster than men do, okay? So you have to, in order to stay in a more feminine role with a younger man, you basically have to become even more in your childlike, playful, energetic role. So that means being very flirtatious, being very playful and humorous, really cultivating the childlikeness in you, because we all have a child within us. And so embracing things that we used to love as children, hobbies that we used to partake in as children, embracing more of those qualities in order to energetically create more of that masculine and feminine, where he is more protective over you as the feminine energy in the relationship, even though he is physically younger than you. So you can really try to implement all of these things, but at the end of the day, if he's not a masculine energy man that is looking to be a leader, provider, and protector, then you're going to have to really try and work really, really hard to respect him, okay? I can tell you, I have an older brother, and he's only a few years older than me, and I feel so much older than him. Psychologically, mentally, energetically, I feel a lot older than him. So this is very true for us women. You can go ahead and date an older man and just see and notice how much of an easier time it is for you to be able to receive from him, to respect him more, to look up to him and admire him more, to be more playful and flirty around him. Just do it. Introduce an older man, and then notice how much easier it is for you to be in that full feminine energetic state. This was never any issue for women in my own family, because they just were so naturally drawn to men who were older than them, and that's the ones that they ended up marrying, because they were good, strong providers. They had reached a certain level of success and stability, and so the women just fell so submissive to that instinctively, right? Now, I will say that my grandma, she has just about lost 2 husbands now, because she's always been with older men. Her first husband was 18 years older than her, and her husband now is nearly 10 years older than her. But so that's really just the hard part to grasp about the, age difference. But other than that, like, you just naturally feel so much more feminine in the presence of older men, okay? So embrace more of your childlikeness, embrace more of your dependency, just the same way that you were when you were a child. Embrace more of those feelings that you naturally had to show to your parents in order to signal to them that something was wrong, like when you were a child, right? Embrace that and the qualities that you had when you were a child and the playfulness that you had when you were a child. Embrace those energetically, and that's how you're more able to show up more in a feminine, energetic state with a younger man. So you have to be even more self-aware and step into that state in order to really feel as the feminine in that kind of dynamic.